Good afternoon, guys. Looking at Bitcoin, BTC to USD pairing on Coinbase. We've got the 1 week chart out now. Um, guys, I was really hoping, of course, it's being Saturday, July 7th, I was really hoping to see this weekly candle end on a very strong note, and we just haven't seen that, guys. For anyone who's new to listening to me, these are the major support and resistance areas we've been following. This next major, we broke through this massive descending resistance line. This next one is this massive descending resistance line that we're watching here. The support zone that we're watching is this 6,000 to 5800 support. And as Bitcoin operates in this zone here, guys, this is kind of neutral territory to me. In other words, yes, this was a win for the bulls that we broke through this resistance line, but that until we get above this descending resistance line here, I'm not going to be convinced that we're in a longer-term uptrend. I'm more thinking that this is just another guppy rally. Just my opinion. We can see that the volume continues to decline and has for months now. Just continuing to decline. There are less and less buyers in the market to prop up this price. I was really hoping, as we can see in the past, every time we've had a reversal, once we had a reversal candle here, we had a nice bullish engulfing weekly candle here. Same thing here. We had a nice reversal and then a bullish engulfing weekly candle. Even in our last little guppy rally, had a reversal candle followed by a nice bullish engulfing candle. And we just aren't seeing that yet. Now we've got one more day in the market tomorrow, so maybe we will, but I kind of doubt it, guys. So not to be a downer, we may in fact be in an uptrend, but I'm just not seeing the evidence as of yet, guys. I really would like to see volume increase, and I would really like to see a more bullish looking candle here, certainly on the weekly. But we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Looking at the my big picture count, guys, it's still the same. I still believe that we are in a WXY correction. We are in a WXY pattern. Which just connects two ABC corrections, or to an ABC and an ABCDE correction, as I have here, just separated by a failed wave in the middle denoted by X. If you guys haven't heard me say that enough, for all you newbies out there, there you go. Guys, just to reiterate my point, the market is just it's gotten weaker and weaker and weaker every time that the bulls have tried to rally. We can see once it came down here, this was pure manipulation. This little rally here was pure manipulation, as I've said in the past. This was just whales transferring their money over to smaller investors. Smaller investors lapped it right up, thinking that we were going on a bull run, thinking we were heading off to all new highs. That was the bottom. We were heading up. Hell, I remember when I was watching this, guys, I was cautiously optimistic myself, thinking, man, this is it. We're heading up, and sure enough, just toppled right back over. Second time, now the second time I was not so optimistic, but a lot of people were, certainly had their reasons. But you can see the trajectory here, guys. This was just a much weaker rally, and then just toppled right back over. You can see it took much longer to play out. It was much extended. In fact, let me show you guys what I'm talking about, so you can see the trajectory. It should be obvious. Okay, that was the trajectory on the first rally, the first guppy rally. Here's the trajectory on our second rally, second guppy rally. And now we're heading into our third. Do you see a pattern there, guys? I mean, again, I'm a bull at heart. If you guys watch me, if you've listened to me, I'm a bull at heart. I want to tell you that we're heading up to all new highs. I want that to be the case. I'm a strong believer, and I believe it will. I believe Bitcoin is absolutely going to head to all new highs here. The question is when. The question is how long is this correction going to take? For all those that are thinking that this is the rally, we've seen bottom and we are heading now to all-time highs, this is it, I'm not convinced of that yet. And it's because you can see on the chart, you can see the weakness in the market, you can see the lack of buyers in the market, you can see the volume continuing to decline. That makes it, as volume declines, guys, it's much easier for whales to manipulate the market. It's much easier for whales to push the price up just slightly. However, there are just no buyers to take the bait. There are no buyers left to take the bait. So this is why I believe we could be in an ABC correction. We may be on our way up. But until we break this massive descending resistance line, I'm not going to be convinced. And even then, we are going to need to create a new high. As I've said in the past, we've created a series of lower highs each time we've had a rally. This was a lower high. This was an even lower high. And we need to break above the prior rally's high, which would be about 10,000. We reached, as I said in the past, we've reached about, this rally went up to just shy of 10,000. We need to break above 10,000 to break this trend. But first, we need to break this massive descending resistance line. So I am, as of right now, based on all the evidence that I'm seeing right now, guys, I'm calling this an CDE. I do believe we'll see another wave down. As of yet, I may be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and if I am, I'll scream it from the rooftops, guys, because I want to be wrong. But is it any coincidence that you can see that there is a nice supply zone right here, a nice resistance zone right here that just coincides with this descending resistance line? So it just makes sense to me. There's going to be a massive resistance in this area, and it makes sense to me that this would topple over into an E wave. Just my opinion, guys, but as of right now, that's the way that I'm seeing it. And I hope I'm wrong. As I said, guys, I really, really, really hope I'm wrong. Zooming into the 4-hour chart, guys, let's see if we can try to figure out where price is going. And unfortunately, this is a no trade zone for me. There's just no clear direction on which way price is going here in the short term. We've got a pretty strong supply zone, or excuse me, yes, pretty strong supply zone right here. It's been tested quite a few times. We can see it wicked into it here, strong resistance, came back down, barely wicked into it, has strong resistance, and got knocked back down again by the bears. So between 6750, 6800, we do have a strong resistance. We can see price is being squeezed right now into a wedge. We've had a series of lower highs and a series of higher lows. That's by definition a wedge. So price is getting squeezed. I would expect it to break out to one direction or another at any time. As it gets closer to the apex of the wedge here, the higher the likelihood of a breakout. The question is, which direction is it going to go, guys? And I can't give you a clear answer. Normally, we can look at the evidence and we can say, based on some indicators, based on our Elliott wave, based on volume picking up, it's going to hint in one direction or another. And right now, I'm just not seeing that hint, guys. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised, regardless of which direction this breaks in, I wouldn't be surprised price to just bounce around here like a ping pong ball in between this support and resistance zone, between 6400 and 6330 support, and this 6750 to 6800 resistance. There's a nice little demand zone, a nice little supply zone, and I wouldn't be surprised to see price just kind of bounce back and forth and consolidate in between the two. But I do think we're going to get a decisive break in one direction or another, and it's going to test either that support or that resistance zone very, very shortly, at least within the next day or two. Excuse me, in my opinion. Looking at the indicators, we're on the 4-hour. We can see that the MACD is just trending almost sideways, guys. It is slightly trending down, but more sideways. I mean, really giving us no indication of what direction it's going to go. Looking at the stock RSI, sorry about that. Looking at the stock RSI, it's kind of sitting over here in bullish territory, guys. It looks like it's starting to slightly trend down. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see, but it's kind of sitting in bullish territory for now. It's slightly showing a downtick, but you know how easily the stock RSI is manipulated. But for now, looks like possibly suggesting it's going to go. It's going to start to slightly trend down. That could just be a slight downtrend though to the bottom of that wedge. Looking at the RSI, we can see that the ascending resistance line is still in play. It's been tested 3 different times. I wouldn't be surprised if it does break to the downside. More than likely, it's going to test this resistance again. If this resistance can hold, that's going to be a very bullish indication that we are still continuing our uptrend. By definition, we would be continuing our uptrend, at least on the RSI, more than likely on price as well. So we are going to be watching this resistance. If that resistance does break, if that happens, I'm expecting price to more than likely come down and test this second support zone down here between about 6145 and 6070. Somewhere thereabouts, there is some resistance in that area. So I would expect price to test that if that RSI support zone does break down. So from an Elliott perspective, guys, and for all you non-Elliott traders out there, I know some of you guys just aren't fans. You can go ahead and turn the video off now. I don't say that in any kind of condescending way or anything. I mean, seriously, if you guys just don't believe in it, you can turn it off now. That's basic. My technical analysis is, as for right now, guys, we are in a kind of a neutral, no trade zone for me. I've got some sell orders sitting up in here at about 6750. I do expect if it does tap into this area, it's more than likely going to get a reaction. We're going to have a break to the downside again. And you, depending on how much risk you want to take, you could target maybe 6400 or thereabouts for a nice little short, quick trade. If it does break to the downside, guys, I've got some buy orders sitting down here as low as 6300. Excuse me, all the way up to 6350. If they do end up getting filled, I'm expecting a reaction, and I'd probably target somewhere. I'm a little more conservative, so I'd probably target about 6600 or thereabouts, but a logical target may be up in this supply zone up here between 6750 and 6800. So depending on how much risk you want to take. That's just my opinion. That's not financial advice at all, guys. Just my personal opinion. Looking at it from an Elliott wave, though, perspective, guys, I do believe, I told you before, there are quite a few different ways that you could count this, and this is why I say I'm just not sure which way price is going to break, because there's nothing that I can find that gives me any kind of probable break in one direction or another. But from a pure Elliott perspective, this would be a very valid count. We would have a leading diagonal. Pardon me, guys. What looks like a leading diagonal. If that is in fact the case, we'd be looking at an ABC correction. More than likely, if this is an ABC correction, this would be an expanded flat. Where maybe see, there we go. And it would look something like this. There would be our A, our B. Yes, our B can go higher than the start of wave A or the top of our fifth wave if it is an expanded flat, which I believe this would be if this count is accurate. And if we broke down, I believe this entire structure here would be our C wave, excuse me, would be our C wave, and it would come down something like this for our ABC, our expanded flat. That would make a lot of sense to me. That is a very possible count. Is that definitely going to happen? No, absolutely not, because there are different ways that we can count this, guys, like I'm saying, and this is why I'm just not sure which direction price is going to go. If we see price going to the upside, excuse me, let me get a drink of water real quick, guys. Stand by 1 second. Okay, guys, back with you. Sorry about that. Have restructured the count here a little bit just to save some time for you. If we see price breaking up to the upside, then more than likely this was our fifth wave here. Excuse me, this was our fifth wave here, and we can count this as A. If it does break up, this would more than likely, this entire structure would be our B, and we'd continue down for a C wave. So that's the other way that you could count this. There are a couple other ways you can count this, guys, but those are the two likelier scenarios in my opinion. So those are the only ones that I'm going to cover. But in my opinion, we are definitely in a correction. The question is, are we going to see a little break to the upside followed by more downside, or are we going to see some downside and then it continue to the upside? So these are just my quick thoughts on Bitcoin, guys. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, criticism, I take them all, guys, in the comments section below. Please let me know. If you have enjoyed this content, I certainly would appreciate an upvote or a re-steam. Also, please follow me on Twitter, guys. You can find my Twitter and my Facebook account down there at the bottom. They are very, very new, so you'd be one of my first followers on Twitter and Facebook, so I'd certainly appreciate that. Other than that, guys, please, in the meantime, trade safe. Make sure you're not trading any more than you can afford to lose. And until next time, this is Workin signing out. Have a great weekend, guys.